Welcome to the DIY3DTech.com channel.
So what I wanted to do was a bit of a video on the idler assembly for the chassis. It's a bit confusing because one of the things in the instructions it says is see special instructions for 2-up and Y idler assembly, and it really doesn't show it in the newer version 2 instructions how this goes together. Well, at least in the body. If you go up to the top, it sort of shows, it's too early in the morning, how it goes together, but it's still all a bit rather confusing. So I thought I would do a little bit on this, and actually I think I might have to actually technically flip these around. This piece will go to the bottom of the assembly on the chassis. I'm not sure, maybe it'll go back that way. But anyways, this is sort of how the order that this will go together is that basically what we'll do is we'll put the bolts, as you can see here. I'm not sure which way to orientate these, to be honest with you, on sitting on the mat. But these are the parts you will need. So the 2 bolts, the top, a shim, skate bearing, another shim, backside, and these black melamine cutout things to step it out from it. Also, one of the things the instructions gives a pro tip about turning this around backwards. I'm not sure if that's going to work with these offsets. I think that's sort of what these offsets were designed for, so you didn't have to do that. So this piece is all a little bit confusing. But anyways, that's why I'm doing I think I'm going to just dedicate a video to this assembly. So basically, what this is going to do is, hopefully you can kind of see this, and I know the lighting isn't so great. Let me see if I can get some more of my ancillary lighting on this. So this is actually going to mount, so it goes like this. So you see these little indentations up here, and then little bigger indentations down there. This appears to kind of like self-tap itself into the melamine. So anyways, what we're going to do is and you kind of see the shaft here. Now, if it was like this, you can see that there's a problem getting to the set screw, because it's actually set down inside of here. And then that's where I think the pro tip says to turn it around, so this comes out here, so you just kind of extend it out, line up the belt, and you can get it. I think, though, with these standoffs, because what's going to happen is these standoffs, the way I'm interpreting it, go in here sort of like this to stand it off, and then what will happen is the pulley will go on here and then you can get at the set screw from up here, and this will line. This is what I'm now assuming. So well, I'm going to put this back on like this. I'm going to try to go like this. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to put this bolt through here, this bolt through here, and then what we're going to do, and these are kind of oily and nasty, so be a little bit forewarned. Put these on here, and these are going to step out against the center of the skate bearing, and hopefully you can kind of see this, because after so long the screen on the camera goes blank. So I turn this, we're going to put these on here, and then we're going to line this up with the bottom. Then these are going to go on here, and then this whole assembly is going to mount here, and then we use this big Allen wrench to kind of snug these down. Now, what I would definitely recommend, since we're kind of tightening into melamine, untapped melamine too, because it's going to be kind of like self-threading, is kind of make sure that when you start this, they seem to be starting pretty easy, which doesn't really surprise me, but we want to make sure that they're going in straight. So there's still a lot of gap up here above. You can see a space right here. So, and again, part of the reason I'm using what I would call the torque end of this is it just fits in here a little bit better. However, when I get down to being tight, I think I am going to go, quarter turn on each, going back and forth, so it tightens uniformly. But you can already start to see that I have this gap in here now for my set screw. So I'm just going to tighten these on, and I don't think it actually takes a lot as it goes in. Whoops. Yep. Put that back together. One of the things I also noticed is in the newer instructions, I didn't see anything that really talks about glue. In the older instructions, it says after it's been assembled, it can glue. Because remember, this is the version 2, not the version 1. So I went back when I was trying to figure this whole thing out. I looked at the version 1, and I seen the piece about the glue. I may actually do that. After I get a little bit more of it together, I might actually go and take some kind of like wood glue and hit some of the joints and let it seep in, because there's enough room in the joints. But see, now this is starting to get fairly tight. And I don't think I would really over tighten this too much, because I don't think it will get perfectly tight, to be honest with you. This one is really, really tight. This one is snug at best, and it just seems to be spinning. What I might actually even suggest doing is taking a little bit of wood glue, maybe putting them on the end of the bolts, but I only suggest that after, I got a good dry fit here. There does seem to be some movement in this piece. You can see this. And so, see if I can tighten this down a little bit more, because but it seems to be hitting on the motor assembly. So now there are some extra of these washers, and I'm assuming that maybe we might need to shim out the top of this just a little bit to create pressure to hold this tight. So I think probably the best thing to do is experiment for your own needs to see how it all comes together, because this doesn't seem to be tightening anymore. So again, it seems to be hitting the motor housing. So what I may actually do is take that up. I'm going to have to take a look at it, but hopefully you can now see, if I take the screwdriver and I back this off, I can now get at this, and I think this is part of the reason for the change in the assembly. I can now get at this gear assembly set screw, so you can kind of see this set in here. I don't like this movement in this bearing assembly, so I may actually do that. Go put some touch of Elmer's wood glue in there and let that set up. I wouldn't go anything stronger. I think once I get this together, what I may do is actually touch a few pieces, put a little JB weld at a few key places where, if I need to, I could score it and bring it back apart. But okay, you can see we got enough room now. Still put our bearings. That's what I was a little bit concerned with this design. Mount our slides in there, linear bearings. So again, this is basically how to assemble the Y-Idler assembly. So in the finished product, I kind of do an overview, because I am going to go off camera now and kind of see about adjusting this up a little bit, because I'm not sure exactly how to do it. And in the finished product notes, I'll cover it out how I dealt with this little bit of give, because I don't want this to give at all. All right, thanks for watching.